What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Project Ozone 2 Kappa Mode. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode, I ended too quickly, and I forgot to pop our loot chests. So I was looking at that, and then I also saw that we had some other chests here from some of the applied energistics stuff that we've been doing recently. Like we got one here for a crafting GUI, like getting the gas terminal made. That completed this section here. Let's go and claim a loot chest for this. We have the exporter, importer, and level emitter. I went ahead and I made all the different pieces for this when I was working on the mechanism stuff with applied energistics. I figured that was probably a smart idea, and I forgot to talk about that before. But yeah, with the gas import and export buses and all that, I figured, you know what, let's just make the fluid ones too and knock all of these quests out. So anyway, there we go. There is a bunch of claimed loot chests. So yeah, we got a lot of these things. Let's go and pop these open right away. Iron Paxel, we haven't seen that before. Portal gun, we've had a few of those. Fortune cookie is kind of useless. Reed, flat lamp, and tinted glass. All right. So I don't know why that didn't auto fill into my inventory here. We get some heart glass. This one didn't auto fill either. Maybe it is, and it's just like not showing up. Glowstone glass walls, flux infused hammer, and ore processing upgrade. So again, nothing is super great. Not really expecting anything great, but when something great happens, it's going to be amazing, guys. It's going to be amazing. So I saw in the comments, you guys are talking about these machines over here. The machines that require, are the machines that use gas. Yes, you guys were telling me that they support the gas upgrade. I keep forgetting about that. It's like, these are some of the only machines that can accept like the gas upgrade. So both our purification chamber and our chemical injection chamber, I believe, are the only ones. Maybe this one, because we're putting the sulfuric acid gas in there. Does that allow for a gas upgrade as well? Let's just let this thing cycle through real quick. It does. Okay, so there's 3 gas upgrades we can make. Now, I don't know, do these machines down here, the electrolytic separator, do those have a gas upgrade? If they do, because that'd be awesome. No, it looks like that's just speed and energy. You can't even put the muffling upgrade in there? Really? Okay, that's fine. All right, so we have 3 of the gas upgrades that we should make. Let's go ahead and get those made. Gas upgrade. Right, yeah, I don't think these stack. I think it's just you put 1 in and that's it. Or maybe you have to put 8 and 8. I don't know. Let's go and make some of these things. So we need 6 of these alloys if we're gonna make 3 of these gas upgrades. I kind of feel like you only put 1 in, but again, I don't remember for sure. So we needed iron powder. Do we have an iron powder thing? It does not look like it. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and take half a stack of iron and we'll pulverize that. That should work just fine for our needs here. Okay, so gas upgrade. So there's 3 of them. Again, I don't know if these things stack. I guess we'll just throw it in one machine and see if it does or does not. This, scroll one of those in there. So if I click on this, oh, it does. Okay, it says 1 out of 8. Right, so we're gonna want a few of those. I guess I need to make 21 more of those gas upgrades, which is fine. I probably want to make a pattern for that. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Let's see. The pattern is enriched alloy. So I'll just drag those out of NEI, click them right here, make the thing, do this, and we'll just find a little spot somewhere in our system here to nestle that into. There we go. All right, so gas upgrade. We want 21 more of those things, right? That'll be a total of 24, 8 per machine. I think that's what we want. So yes, it's going to take a little bit of time to craft all these up, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and add those later. We have enough gas right now where the machines are able to keep up with our entire supply. And speaking about that, we never did go back to see in the mining world what the speed was that these towers are going to, since it's always sunny here, right? And we're getting rid of the rain and all that kind of stuff. I did have to provide these with more water, with all these different connections to all these infinite water supplies before this thing got up to max speed, if it's even there yet. Yeah, it was using way too much water. Okay, so it looks like it doesn't say it's doing anything, but it looks like it's reached the maximum temperature, 1.87 kk. Now it says 1.86K. Is it losing temperature because it has nowhere to output this stuff? Is that how that works? Can I do like a fluid trash can? Yeah, let's make a trash can fluids. All right, so let's do one of these. We will remove this guy. We'll put that there. So that emptied out all the stuff. Now, I guess that is maximum speed. I think this is it. So it makes 156.17 millibuckets per tick. Oh, it just went up just a little bit. Okay. Well, we don't need these things just voiding out all that stuff. It's kind of good to know. Our brine bedrockium drum is 100% full, so we have so much brine on tap. We're never going to run out of this stuff. I guess we probably didn't need the second tower, but to get us going for that first bit, yeah, we definitely did. We definitely did. Okay, so let's go back to the base here. So I wanted to work on some things today. So we got through some of those quests here in Applied Energistics. I think we're going to go to... Is it this one? Yeah. We were looking at some of the recipes, and it looked like some of the future recipes we need require plutonium. Also, our power, like I said, we got killed by the Nether Star generator. We really should look at upgrading to better power, right? So let's do big reactors. As part of the quest, let's go ahead and get it done. All right, so quest, Iota, big reactors. So the very first quest is a cyanide reprocessor. Wait, is that the right one? Minium reactor. No, this one. I don't know why I did the other one. So this wants us to have a stack of yellorium ingots or ingot uranium. So I guess some kind of a uranium ingot would work from extra planets. Ingot uranium. Okay. Yeah, I think we have the yellorium stuff. If we don't have it in ingot form, we have a lot of it. We have blocks of it. We have 106,000 yellorium dust. So if I take these blocks and I unblockify it, there you go. There's a full stack in my inventory. Is that going to do a thing? Oh, you know what? That's only part of the quest, wasn't it? So we can detect, submit that. Okay, so that part's done. So we need a reactor controller, reactor access port, reactor power tap, fuel rod, reactor controller, and 22 reactor casing. So I guess we should make the reactor casing autocraft, because that is going to be a component for all the future things I can imagine. So there's that. We're going to need a recipe for graphite bars. Graphite bars are made by smelting graphite dust, and graphite dust is made... Isn't the graphite bars made just by smelting coal? Isn't that what it is? Charcoal or coal, I guess? Why is... Oh, okay. I think it might be charcoal then. Nope, this one shows charcoal or coal. All right. So just smelting a coal is what we need to do. So let's make a processing pattern. So we'll do, how about a stack of coal is going to equal a stack of the graphite? Does that sound good? I think it does. I've mistakenly made some graphite before. Let's do this and just pull a full stack over here. Okay, so we can put that over into, I think, our diamond chest crafting. I still haven't renamed this thing. And we can add in more interfaces to it, to our smelting array over there. Okay, so now we have that made. We have steel all ready to go. We can put the reactor casing in here somewhere. I didn't see if that was a retrieval task for these or if we have to craft those or not. Let's just take a look real quick back at the quest book. Yeah, it's just a retrieval task. So we needed 22 of those. Reactor Control Rod. So the Reactor Control Rod is made with some of the reactor casing graphite bars, redstone, and then yellorium ingots. Okay, reactor casing. We'll tell the system to craft up some of those. All right, this and that. Awesome. So that is a pattern to make these reactor control rods. Reactor power tap. The power tap, I don't know how many of these things are going to use crazy things. Electrosilicon, we do have those available to craft. I can't remember why we have those available to craft, but I know we do have them available because I've had to make them before. All right, so there is that guy. Let's continue on. Reactor controller. is made with demon steel of the 3rd magnitude. Okay, demon steel. This is 4th magnitude, so we need to get 4 of the 3rds. So that requires 36 Temperio Essence, which we already have pre-crafted. Okay, so that should go by pretty quickly. It just has to run those through the whatever that one mechanism machine is. I can't remember off the top of my head with the diamond stuff in it. Anyway, so access port. The access port is made with a bunch of other stuff. I guess there is no reason to really make a pattern out of this. I'll just make some more casings. We can just craft 2 of these because you only ever need 2 of these in a thing. And we need some pistons. Easy. All right, that should allow me to craft 2 of these things now. There's 1. I can't. Oh, we need a chest. All right, so we'll craft up a chest here like so, and then there's 2. Okay, so we got those done. What else do we need? Control the Uranium fuel rods. That's probably another one. Yeah, Uranium fuel rod. That is lead plates, which I believe we have those on auto craft. Let's check that out. Lead plate. Yeah, I've had to make these before, and I have this set up so it's using the engineer's hammer to craft those. All right, so there is that. Steel ingots, graphite bars, and uranium rod. The uranium rod is lead plates plus palladium ingots plus 3 yellorium. All right, so we have that craftable. I will make one of those. And then yellorium fuel rod is craftable. Cool. All right, so we got a bunch of different crafts here. Well, I tell you what, let me go ahead and go through all these crafts. I'll get all the required components in my inventory, and then we will complete this quest, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so we have all the different components in our inventory here to complete that quest, and the quest just completed. So I was just looking at the next quest after. So the next one requires us to have cyanite, and cyanite wants us to have a full stack of that. I don't remember if cyanite is craftable. It might be. Sometimes you can do yellorium plus sand to make it, and it does not look like that is a recipe. So no, we do have to set up the big reactor, get it running, produce the cyanite, unless somehow we can make the cyanide dust. No, we cannot. This stuff does have EMC a little bit later. That might be important, but for right now, the only way for us to get cyanite is by setting up the big reactor, starting to get power from it, spending the yellorium fuel. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Okay, so let's go back here. So that is this, and then we also have steam processing, which wants us to make a reactor coolant port. I don't think we're ever going to do the turbine stuff. While it is more efficient, it's not really necessary to do in this particular mod pack. So reactor coolant port. I didn't even look at this recipe yet. Okay, so there's nothing special. A bucket, piston, reactor casing, steel ingots, all these things we can make, no problem. All right, so we need a piston. Easy, easy. There we go. Reactor coolant port. So yeah, the reactor coolant port, when you put that in there, it turns it from an actively cool or a passively cooled reactor to an actively cooled one. So you're pumping water into the reactor turns the water into steam, the steam powers the steam turbines, the steam cools down in the turbines, turns back into water, and you can pump that back into the reactor to cool it, right? So it's a closed loop system if you want to, or you can just keep pumping water in and deleting the water out the other side. Whichever way you want to do it. I've set those up before, and they're cool and everything, but I just don't think we need to do it. Anyway, so there's the reactor coolant port. We just got that quest complete. Let's claim this quest. We will claim this one as well. What I think I want to do is I want to set up a big reactor to replace our current Nether Star generators over here as far as energy production goes. So I want to find a spot where we can set these things up. So we have lots of room down here. We don't have to have like an exceptionally tall one. It could just be like 1 layer thick. We'll just make it wider or whatever. We could set it up like over here. I don't see a reason not to set it up here. Or we could make a new platform directly underneath, set it up below everything. Or we could put it into another dimension. You know, we got a few different options here. But I do want a reactor that's going to be big enough that it can produce like 300,000 RF per tick. I think that's going to be a reasonable amount to get us going. Right now, that's about what we're making over here with our 2 nether star generators, I think. Okay, so we got a fuel efficiency upgrade and then an amulet of growth. Those were our 2 rewards. Nothing too crazy good. All right, so I need to make a few more things here. Now, if we're going to get Yellorium going, if we are going to tell the system to make Yellorium, we're going to want a way to craft it because we had the Yellorium dust, but we need the ingots. Let's make ourselves another interface. I've been saying I want to do this for a while. Let's go ahead and do this now. Okay, so there's an interface. We need some ME glass cable. Cool. We need to get ourselves a processing pattern. Once again, for Yellorium, we want a stack of the Yellorium dust is going to equal a stack of Yellorium ingots. That's the fastest way of doing that. All right, so there is our processing pattern. Interface, I think we're fine. Now, I wanted to set up another interface down here on our smelting array. This one is now full, all these different things. I do want another one on here, and I don't think it has to be anything special. In fact, I think we could just literally place it right here, and that's all we have to do. That's it. Because the stuff is already set up to go back into this interface. All the different smelted items already go back in here, so all we have to do is just place this down, and then we get extra spots for storage. All right, so let's put this here. Let's tell the system to craft up some Yellorium. Let's say, I don't know. Oh, you know what? This is not being recognized. Did I just use too many channels? Maybe that's a thing. I didn't even check. Where does this cable go? This goes over here, and no, it says we're using 4 of 8 channels. It's using 15 of 32. So why am I not seeing that pattern? Is this connected? This has the pattern. Yellorium dust. Oh, no. Yellorium ingot with Yellorium dust. I don't get it. Yellorium ingot. Middle clicking it. Shift. Yeah, there is no recipe according to the system for that. So why is that not working? Let's take a look one more time. So we come over here, follow the line over, and this says that we are only using 4 of 8 channels on this wire. It's using 15 of 32 on this. I don't know. I'll have to figure that one out. I'm not sure why this is not working. It should be. So this is why I like using the ME-dense cables where the P2P channels connect to the controller. Because now I can come over here and be like, oh, that's not working. Everything else is. Why? Yeah, 32 of 32 channels. We are using the maximum amount of channels. We have no room for this interface. At least not on our currently connected thing. So what we probably are going to do... You know what? I'm going to put this back just right where it is. Let's grab a memory card. We have an open P2P channel on this side. I'm sorry, an open, yeah, P2P connection right here, right? So we're using this one for like, I'm trying to be like, okay, so this is our crafting one. This is this corner, so anything over here is going to use this one. But yeah, we have like this one available that we haven't been touching at all. It's got plenty of stuff. So let's go ahead and grab the signal off this one. We'll place that right here. This is going to reset everything, and things should just work. Do I have the, I still have the pattern on me, so we will put the pattern back in here. And it might take it just a second to recognize all the devices. So this one says online, but no connections. And then it's going to find all the connections and then light this thing up. And there we go. Now we're using 16 of 32 channels. This one should probably say we're using 16, 17 of 32. Yeah. Okay, so now we're good. Now I can tell the system to make some Yellorium. There it is. If I want to make like 300, we should be able to make that stuff in a relatively quick time. Yeah, look at that. Awesome. I love how fast that machine is over there. Okay, cool. So now we have a way to auto-craft Yellorium from our Yellorium dust. We don't have a way to actually make Yellorium, but we could always sift for this if we need it. And then we can always reprocess the Yellorium back into plutonium and stick it back in the big reactor. So we have Yellorium for days, right? Like, that is not a problem. I think there is even Yellorium seeds. Isn't there? If I search for Uranium, or maybe it's called Yellowite. Is there not? Maybe there isn't. If I search for Yell seed. Okay, we do have Yellowite seeds. I don't know if I've made these particular ones yet, but if we haven't, we can make those, set up the crops in the last millennium, and then always grow Yellorium and never have to worry about reprocessing stuff. That might be what we end up doing. Okay, so anyway, now that we got the problem solved, we can auto-craft that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and start making all the parts for a big reactor, and we'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, so I went ahead and I decided to place the big reactor below our platform here. Yeah, so that is the big reactor platform. It is the same size as the platform up above that has all of our applied energistic stuff on there. Yeah, so it's like the same thing replicated, including the border and then the inside white stuff there. So if we come down here, yeah, that's the same exact size. So this is, was it 27 by 27? Let's measure it out. I just measured it a minute ago and I forgot. Yeah, 27 by 27 is the size of this big reactor. I know, seems a little big, might be overkill, doesn't matter. We can do it. So the thing is, I went to go make some more Yellorium fuel rods to put in this thing. The way I normally do these reactors is we place these things every other block. So it's going to be something like this, right? So I'm going to need a few of those Yellorium fuel rods to place in a pattern like this. We have to put some kind of a coolant fluid between the fuel rods. If I do remember correctly, you want to put cryothium between the fuel rods, and then you want to bring the fuel rods up to about 3 blocks away from the outside wall and fill the outside of that with the liquid ender pearl stuff. So we can definitely do that. That's not a big deal, but I went to go make like 100 more of these Yellorium fuel rods. We're probably gonna need more than that. So let's do that. 100 more of these things, and it says we're out of palladium. Yeah, we're missing 101 just to make 100 of these. We're gonna want a lot more than that. So if we look for palladium here, and we do the uses on this, I believe, I didn't even check, but I believe we can use our mechanism or processing with this. Yeah, we can definitely do that, right? So we need to get ourselves some of this Jupiter palladium ore. So let's find our digital miner. There's this guy, and then we're gonna need a tesseract. Still have some in here. I don't remember if palladium is one of the ores that we have in our thing. Let's take a look. Is this palladium right there? Jupiter palladium ore. Perfect. It is perfect. So good. What we need to do is to put on our spacesuit. We're gonna go do this together. I want to show you guys how to do this in a faster way when you're at this point in the game. All right, so let's grab our Galacticraft stuff. Keep taking this stuff off just because it renders on my skin. I don't prefer to see that all the time, especially when we're not going to these planets all the time. So there's that, and that. Cool. We have this. I guess I can put away my builder's wand. And then we don't really need all the big reactor stuff on us. But anyway, so we have the digital miner. We have the tesseract. I do want an angel block. Looks like we have one available. I wasn't sure if I had left that behind or not, because I think we left it over there, the grassy patch where we're making it no longer rain. So Jupiter, this one. Let's go. All right, so here on Jupiter, we can just go ahead and pop this open and fly up. Yeah, it is lightning all the time. I don't know if that lightning will hurt me if it touches me or not, but whatever. We're just going to kind of fly away over here. High enough where the monsters can't really get to us. But yeah, all we got to do is just make our way over to like new terrain that we haven't mined out by hand or anything like that. Right here should be good enough. I'll just place that down. So yeah, pretty much all you got to do is just place your digital miner like so. Get your tesseract on there. Make sure this is set to energy receive only. Click start. That's it. That's all you gotta do. This does require a lot of power though. This will be draining our battery really, really fast. So once this is done, once we collect the 600 plus ore, I will set up a recipe back home for us to 5x or process this. I'll make sure we get those gas upgrades in those machines. We'll process this all out. And yeah, and we'll make our fuel rods and we'll look at actually setting up that big reactor. So anyway, I got a little bit of time off camera to kill. Be right back. All right, guys, so we got things going like our palladium. We have the autocraft set up. Yeah, it's simple recipe of putting 1 ore equals 5 of the palladium dust into the chemical injection or chemical reaction chamber, dissolution chamber, one of those chambers, and then setting up a pattern to smelt the dust into the ingot. So yeah, we got these auto-craftable now. I did collect a decent amount of this stuff. And yeah, we are still crafting more of this palladium. So I have all the Uranium fuel rods in place down below. I think we used like 179 or 180 of them. I made a total of 200 of those. So yeah, we have that. Anyway, we're looking at trying to fill up between the fuel rods with this gelid cryothium, and that's kind of a pain if you have to place down a bucket for each one. So there is this item from Thermal Expansion. If you have not seen this before, it's pretty awesome. It's called a fluid vac. Apparently, I do not have a recipe to make a bronze gear, so we're going to go ahead and tell the system how to do this. Bronze gear. All right, so we want one of those, just one. Unfortunately, I have to do the whole right-click thingy here to bring this all the way down to 1. Anyway, the fluid vac is a great item. If you have liquids in the world and some kind of a storage in your inventory, you can tell it to suck up those items, and it will place it inside the fluid storage that's in your inventory. So that makes it really convenient for different things. Middle former thing. Really surprised that requires a bronze gear. We have never had to make one of those before. Okay, so the other thing you can do is if you have a drum in your inventory or some kind of fluid storage, you can put this on the export mode and it'll place the source blocks from this in the world. So it's really, really convenient. Okay, so let's go ahead and make one of these. I think we should have everything. Leadstone flux. At least we have those on auto craft already. Cool. All right, so there we go. Fluid vac, yes. So you have to shift right click it, or is it M? There is, whoops. There's some way to switch the mode. Do we have to go to like thermal expansion options? I don't remember how this all works. Let's figure it out. Tools. Tinkers, streaming, simply jetpacks. Yeah, I thought it was something like you just shift right click on it or something. There is a way to switch it. I might have to go through this in my a little bit off camera to figure it out. Gameplay, Galacticraft, Urbest, Draconic, better questing. It might be underneath all the way at the bottom. No, not key fart description. Where this crafting terminal? What am I looking at? Tools. I don't see it. It's got to be in here somewhere. It's definitely got to be in here somewhere. It's one of the keys where you can change the mode of that. And I guess shift right click, control shift right click. Anyway, the way that's set up right now is it should pull items into my inventory. I really wish I knew what the key combination was for this. We'll have to figure it out. But I can show you that it will suck items up. And this is also what a reactor's looking like right now. I think we're just going to go with a 1 tall on the inside. So it's going to be a total of 3 blocks tall on the outside. So we'll just have to put the roof on this thing and call that good until our power requirements increase, and then we can double the size here. Bucket. So let's get a bucket here, and I will get some of this cryothium out. So place that right there. All right, so if I right click on this, you can see the drum has 240 buckets, right click, and now it has 241. So yes, it sucks it up out of the world into a drum in your inventory. Hold shift for more options. C to change mode. Ha, I guess that helps if I read. So now I can right click and it will pull the stuff out of my inventory, out of the drum that's in my inventory, I should say. So I can just right click and place this in the world. Alternatively, I think there is a Floodgate is the name of the item from Buildcraft. You could place that down and fill this whole thing in with it, but I believe the Floodgate will place stuff at its level or below it. So like you can't stick it between the fuel rods and have it fill up all between. You'd have to stick it on top of the fuel rods, and then you kind of like float over the top of them and the fluid would sink down, and then you'd have like fluid on top and below. Anyway, I don't think it's that great to do something like this. Now the Floodgate might be okay for like the outside ring with the ender pearl stuff, but I think we're just going to do 1 layer thick, and then I will have some kind of a block like dirt or something, and we'll just vein mine that away. I think it'll just be faster that way. Like it doesn't have to be solid source blocks. It can be flowing liquid. But anyway, let me go ahead and finish this up. I will get the ender pearl juice made because I don't think we have that available. But anyway, we can just do the magma crucible to make this stuff. Let me get this done and we'll be right back, guys. For some reason, I was thinking this big reactor was more than 1 block thick, and I was going to use the Fluivac to place all the source blocks around here for the ender. And I was like, you know what? No, we can use a floodgate just fine. So I went ahead and I built one of these. These are rather inexpensive from Buildcraft to make. It's just a tank, some iron bars, iron and iron gear. I think we're about ready to get this thing going though. So we're going to go ahead and insert, and we're going to extract from here. And this is probably going to make me warp. Always active. Yep, it made me warp. All right, so this is just going to pull the resonant ender out of the drum, find all source blocks, or I guess all spaces available that source blocks can exist, and it's just going to go and fill this all in. So all we got to do is just wait for this thing to finish. You can kind of see it's going at an angle here. Yeah, I'll go all the way down here, finish up around the outside, and fill in between all of these different things. So all we got to do, like I said, is just wait for this thing to finish, which is going to take a minute, but it's going to be a little bit better than me having to click all of those in there by hand, because that would just take a lot of time, a lot of clicks, and yeah, it's just not fun. This is way easier. I was trying to figure out how we're going to get the resonant ender for this, and I got all the ender pearls in my inventory, and I was like, wait, we already have a magma crucible that has 80 buckets already melted, and we have a fluid transposer that already has 80 buckets melted. So I just put the drum in there. It drained all the ender pearl juice out of those things, and now it should still be refilling, I think. Oh wow, it's refilled quite quickly here. Yeah, that's awesome. Anyway, if we need more, I can just stick the drum right in the fluid transposer, and I'll suck all 80 buckets of this and this out into it. Yeah, and we'll be good to go. Anyway, let me go ahead and let this thing finish up. I will cap it off, and then we will give it a test and see how much power this makes. It should make a decent amount, I think. All right, guys, well, we got everything together here. I ran some ME cable down so we can export Yellorium and import the cyanite into our ME system. So next step is we need to export the Yellorium. I haven't set this thing up. We'll need to do this. We'll need a can I spell, please? A crafting card here in order to craft the Yellorium. We need, I think, probably acceleration cards, maybe just one acceleration. Let's not go too crazy. Okay, so we'll export this. We will tell it to craft, and we will put one acceleration in there, and everything else should be just fine. So is it crafting yet? Okay, it just looks like it crafted a little bit. So probably to get this thing going, I should tell the system to craft up. Let's tell it to craft up a few hundred of these, because we're just going to try and fill this thing up right away, and then the export bus can leisurely fill it up or top it off, I guess, as it needs to. But for right now, we need a lot of this stuff in there. So let's just go ahead and start dumping that right in there. That's still not enough. Oh my goodness. I'm not really sure how much we're going to need. Maybe I'll tell the system to craft up like 1,000 of those, just so we have quite a lot on hand and I don't have to keep messing with this thing. All right, let's grab a few more. Not the yellow plastic. All right, so let's try that amount. Okay, there you go. Now we're full. Okay, so that holds how much? Does it say here 724 ingots worth? It says millibuckets, says buckets of the fuel. I guess 1 bucket was 1 ingot, I assume. 181 fuel rods is what we got in there. I think we're ready to go. So now we need to get a tesseract here so we can move the power. So we'll stick a tesseract right on that power tap. We are going to do like I normally do and set this thing to an unnamed channel 999. This is going to be send only. So this is not a named channel, so we don't accidentally click it. This will be on channel 999. Send only. We're going to put our other tesseract over on our battery on receive. I think we should be fine over here. I'll just stick this down here. This will be receive only on channel 999. That should be fine. We can go ahead and remove this stuff. We're no longer going to be using the nether stars. We good? Okay. I think everything should be okay. Let's go ahead and turn it on. I'm kind of curious how much power this is going to make, and then we'll have to set up ways to regulate it so it's not going full blast all the time, but here we go. So now we're making 1.2 million RF per tick. Okay, so that is a decent amount, 1.28 million RF per tick. That is pretty good. We might set this thing up, yeah, so if the internal energy buffer is full, it'll probably just turn itself off or turn the fuel rods all the way down to 1%. And then as the internal battery depletes, it'll put the fuel rods back on. Try and keep this thing at a normal rate. Yeah, because we're using power quite quickly, really. Okay. Well, we'll have to regulate this. But for right now, you know, making over 1 million RF per tick instead of using another star generators, I think that is really, really good. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a great power supply. I'll have to mess around with it. We'll probably look at that next episode, I think, is switching this thing so it's more fuel efficient and it's not just going full blast all the time, wasting fuel needlessly. But yeah, we still need to get those 64 ingots of cyanide. So hopefully we'll get those by next episode too. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.